Okay, so kind of like we talked about, yesterday, I'll probably, really quick here, just so we're all on the same page, I'll probably just start off talking about like the main stuff. Um, I think first and foremost, thing you should know most importantly, difference between if I'm doing stuff with repetition, if I'm doing stuff with permutations, remember permutations, order matters. Repetition kind of just depends upon what type of problem you're looking at. Kind of case by case basis there. And then if you don't have order, obviously you're doing combinations. And then the last and the fourth type that we talked about was permutations where you have multiple of the same type of thing. So for sure know the difference, like when to do each one of those type of things. I think that's probably the hardest part of the exam is just knowing when to do each one. But that's kind of my spiel to start off. So if you have questions, we can work on something right now, but let me know what you guys got. Question?
In classes, Ray, did you guys do the like test prep where you went over what?
Yes.
Happened?
I'll probably ask you to maybe get it from one of them if that works with you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Other questions?
Can you go through like examples of, like,
Yeah.
what you were just talking about, like either the repetition stuff or the permutation stuff?
Yeah, so like the difference between a thing with repetition and a thing with permutation. So kind of, maybe I should just go through like a list of, I think it's in your notes, but just a quick list of when, like what does repetition mean? So the first one that we had was, it was like, this is with repetition, that's the, in your notes, that's the first kind of section that we dealt with. Then I think we went to, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think then we went to permutations. Then third, I think we did permutations with, I think it's labeled as identical elements. And then last, we did combination. So for with repetition is kind of off by itself up here. So if you see that it has repetition, you kind of know that you're gonna deal with this one right off the bat. With repetition is kind of a case by case basis type of thing. Where a lot of times we deal with like, okay, if I'm making a license plate, how many different ways can I make a license plate, given that I have digits and letters and that kind of thing. This is more common like in real life type of thing where like a license plate can obviously, you could have a license plate that's A, all A's, for example, right? In general, it'll tell you, does it have repetition, does it not have a repetition? It'll be pretty straightforward, just telling you what you should be looking at there. The rest of these do not have repetition. So these all, I can't have, like, for example, a lot of times we deal with like winners of the lottery or whatever. I can't have someone win multiple times where if they are picked out, or if they're put into a line or put into order or some sort of, I don't know, whatever you're dealing with. They're removed from being in the rest of the scenarios. Does that make difference between repetition and non-repetition? Does that make sense? Okay. Now permutations, remember the difference between permutations and combinations? You remember the difference between the two? Order matters. So for a permutation, let's say I get A, B, C. Let's say I'm picking out 3 letters. This is saying that for a permutation, ABC is not the same as BAC. Where my order, the order that they're in matters. Where for combination, ABC is the exact same thing as BAC in that case. that's the difference between combinations and permutations. And then I think the last thing is the difference between these two. Difference between these two is, a lot of the times, again, this should be pretty straightforward. But for example, if I have, I think in class we did Mississippi, how many different ways can I order the letters of Mississippi? Well, if I have the third I in the second place, it doesn't really matter. It's just an I, right? Or up here, you should have each individual element should be something different. That should be that should be kind of said in the question type of thing there, so. Does that answer your question? Difference between the
Yeah.
four? That's the four, big ones there, so. Other questions?
So if you like, say for like a dice problem, if you roll a one, and that's like 1/6.
Mhm.
If you have like, would that be one like 36, which is?
Are you saying of rolling a two or two dice?
Two dice who rolls?
Okay, so the probability of, you're saying, I think it's a question where if I'm rolling them at the same time, right? Okay, so two dice. Same number. So this is saying, okay, I roll a dice, I get, I don't know, a one, you're saying, well, it's probably the second one's also one, two, it could be also two, three, also three, so on and so forth. What's your specific question? Just like, how do you do that, or?
So would be like, so 1/6 of the roll a one the first time, and
Yep.
it would be 1/26 for the second time.
Yeah, so this question is asking, what's my probability of rolling a one and a one? Or a two and a two, three and a three, right? Anytime that I'm saying and in that sentence, that just means multiplication, so times 1/6. Now, just to fully clarify, in this question, it's just saying, in the scenario that you brought up, that's two dice, the same number. So the same number could mean one and one, could mean two and two, three and three, four and four, and so on and so forth. So in this case, let's say this is the case where I roll a one and a one. That's one case. Well, I could roll one and one, or two and two, or three and three, right? So I have to also include a case, this is case one. I have to have a case number two, where let's say I roll a two, 2/6. Oops, not 2/6, sorry. Probably rolling a two, still one. 1/6 times 1/6. This is two and two. And I'd have to do that for each number. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay, then, so I would have 6 cases in total, right? Case 6, that would be getting a 6 and a 6. I have 6 total, 1/6 times 1/6. I have 6 of them, so times 6. You see what I'm saying? Is everyone following?